Prologue. Before the Vulture. Jack was the third and youngest child of Leonard and Carol Chestnut. His father was a project manager at a local construction firm, where he publicly blamed his thinning hair on his children. Dad coached Jack's and his older brother Joey's recreational soccer teams. Leonard was extremely generous with his advice, sharing it with anyone who would listen, most often his youngest boy, Jack. Much of the time, Leonard's guidance was quite sage. Unfortunately, Jack was too young to grasp his father's wisdom. Regardless, Leonard enjoyed the attention. One Christmas morning, after beating young Jack at the family's new electric slot car racetrack, Leonard victoriously stated, "Races aren't won at the finish line, son. They're won at every turn before it. Now, pick up your jockstrap. We're going to be late for church." Jack was 3 years old and had no idea what a jockstrap was. They had a family barbecue every year in June. That year, Leonard told Jack, "Don't forget that if you live your life like the person you want to be perceived as in the end, you'll be remembered exactly as that ideal self that you always strived for." Jack looked blankly at his father and wiped his tongue across his vanilla ice cream cone. Leonard stood up and straightened his back. Next, he tended the grill and gave a holler to Carol. "Baby, what happened to my beer? It's hotter than South Texas out here, and this grill is like a dragon blowing on my balls." "Date. Gross," shouted Cece, holding her ice cream cone away from her mouth. Cece preferred her initials to her full name, Cynthia Carol Chestnut, and everyone respected that. She was the middle child of the Chestnut family, and also Jack's best confidant. She was someone who truly listened to his dreams. While their parents and older brother, Joey, were flipping through TV channels, Cece and Jack would play hide-and-go-seek or lie outside and try to make shapes out of the clouds. They were best friends, and she always looked out for Jack and gave him advice he could use. The following year, shortly before the next family barbecue, Leonard and Cece died in a car accident on the way home from her dance recital. The family changed overnight. Carol had to get a job and re-enroll at Daytona Beach Community College. Joey, the oldest brother, began entering competitive eating contests to help pay the bills. Little Jack started sleeping much more than he used to. When he was 6.5 years old, Jack began drawing pictures of his dreams. He colored his first drawing of Wings, the girl he met in one of those dreams, with a small pack of Crayola crayons. The picture was of them together on an Olympic platform diving board in the center of the Super Dome. The seats were full of spectators. Below the diving board, the Ghostbusters were battling Emperor Palpatine from Star Wars, while Godzilla fought the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. After closely reviewing the art, Carol called the piece very busy and smiled at her youngest son. Carol worked hard to raise her 2 remaining children. She loved to laugh, but didn't tell many jokes and avoided talking about her personal life with strangers. She began to wear oversized, dark sunglasses because even years after the accident, she would find herself instantly overwhelmed and in tears. Jack remembered the day she stopped cutting the crusts off his peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. She was wearing those infamous shades. By the time he turned 16, Joey already looked and acted like an adult. He worked an overnight shift at Spring Hill Suites, a local hotel, and completed his homework in the downtime. He put in nearly 40 hours a week and contributed his earnings and eating contest winnings toward the monthly bills. Carol initially dissuaded him, but Joey insisted that he was doing it to make his father proud. Once again, tears escaped from behind Carol's thick glasses as she accepted her son's assistance. This was the day Joey started acting like he was Jack's boss. Jack was the little brother in both size and age. He rejected Joey as the man of the house because he felt that he was a man, too. Joey played football, baseball, and golf in high school. So, Jack focused on soccer, basketball, and ran cross-country as an act of rebellion. Jack learned about women by watching romantic comedies and action movies. This was a big mistake. Soon, he found out that solely liking extremely beautiful, sophisticated, and charming women severely limited his options, not to mention that trying to win those few girls over by simply being a nice guy with little to offer had an astronomical rate of failure in the real world. Consequently, Jack was a virgin when he started college at Florida State University. Then he met Emily. The two were inseparable. They had planned to study together in Italy. Since she was a virgin too, Jack planned to propose to her in Florence. Their relationship ended abruptly when Jack discovered that Emily was lying about being a virgin, complaining about Jack's virginity to her sorority sisters, and having real sex with her ex-boyfriend from high school. It devastated Jack. He went to Italy alone, still a virgin. Europe changed the course of Jack's life. In Paris, he had his first legal beer. It tasted of freedom, respect, and peace of mind. 2 days later, he lost his virginity to a German girl named Martina, whom he met on a train headed to the Erlangen Beer Festival in Mannheim. By the time Jack got out of Florence for school, he never wanted to go home. The first night of their study abroad program, Jack met his future best friend, Dustin Switch, at a local pub. "Hey, Chief, can I bum a cigarette?" Dustin casually asked Jack. "Bum." Jack quickly replied in disbelief. "Dude, are you indigent? It's not like it's 1 a.m. and you're out of cigarettes and cash. It's happy hour. Look, the sun is still out. Shit, I'm standing here at the bar because I haven't even ordered my first beer yet. Bro, you need to go buy a pack of fucking smokes." Jack shook his head, then reluctantly removed a cigarette, added the caveat, "Don't ask me again," in disgust, and handed it over. Naturally, the two instantly hated one another. Dustin had never met his father, but his mom was born wealthy, and he never went without. He became a member of the Screen Actors Guild and dropped out of college after his first major movie role in King Claus. Horror movies became Dustin's gravy train. His obnoxious bravado got him on the fast track to big screen mutilation. After Italy, Jack spent the rest of college finding new places to live, work, and go to school outside of the United States. He wasn't openly religious, but after a year of working as a middle school social studies and theology teacher back in Daytona, he decided to keep the 10 Commandments close to heart just in case. Jack loved to whistle, and he often had a book to read because he didn't enjoy just standing around doing nothing or talking to strangers. He wore a sweatband on his arm that doubled as a beer koozie and several rubber bands on his wrist, which he used judiciously. Jack had many bank accounts and little money. Italy, 15 euros and 12 cents. Australia, 5 Australian dollars and 23 cents. Switzerland, 90 Rappen. London, 112 pounds sterling. And the United States, 1,512 US dollars and 45 cents. He was about to take his life's savings and move to Greece for the fall, but he hadn't bought the plane ticket. In the end, Jack wanted to be a famous artist and author, but he was not. He also wanted a girlfriend, but he didn't have one. Other than that, he was somewhat content. When he moved to London, he initially shared a 2-bedroom apartment with 7 other people from different countries. He mostly kept to himself. By Wednesday, August 11th, 2006, all of Jack's flatmates were gone or had moved out for the summer except for Bridget. She was a hairdresser, and Jack found her quite attractive. Dustin was in town visiting his current girlfriend, Carrie. Jack's older brother had a full-time job and was about to compete in the World Horseshoe Sandwich Eating Competition in Illinois, and their mother was enjoying living at home back in Florida.